Canada has a rich and varied history that spans thousands of years. Here are some of the key events and periods in Canada's history. Indigenous peoples. The Indigenous peoples of Canada have a long and complex history that dates back thousands of years. The First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples have distinct cultures, languages, and traditions that have evolved over time. European exploration and colonization. In the 16th century, European explorers began to make contact with the Indigenous peoples of Canada. French explorers such as Jacques Cartier and Samuel de Champlain established colonies in what is now Quebec and Ontario. The British also established colonies in Canada, including Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. The British North America Act. In 1867, the British North America Act united the colonies of Canada, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick into the Dominion of Canada, which became a self-governing country within the British Empire. Confederation. In the late 19th century, Canada expanded westward, adding Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta to its territories. In 1949, Newfoundland joined Canada as its 10th province. World Wars. Canada played a significant role in both World War I and World War II. Canadian soldiers fought alongside British and other Commonwealth forces in Europe and North Africa. Quiet Revolution. In the 1960s, Quebec underwent a period of social and political change known as the Quiet Revolution. This period saw a shift towards secularization, the rise of the sovereignty movement, and the adoption of a new flag for Quebec. Constitution Act. In 1982, the Constitution Act repatriated Canada's constitution from Britain and established a Charter of Rights and Freedoms that guarantees individual rights and freedoms. Recent history. In recent years, Canada has become a multicultural and diverse society, with a strong economy, a commitment to social justice, and a leading role in international affairs. Canada has also faced challenges, including ongoing efforts to reconcile with Indigenous peoples, and debates around issues such as immigration, climate change, and the rights of LGBTQ+ individuals. Some additional events and periods in Canada's history include the Canadian Pacific Railway. In the late 19th century, Canada's government subsidized the construction of the Canadian Pacific Railway, a transcontinental railroad that helped to unite the country and facilitate trade and commerce. The World Wars. During World War I, Canada contributed over 600,000 troops to the war effort, suffering over 60,000 casualties. In World War II, Canada played a significant role in the Allied effort, contributing over 1 million troops and suffering over 45,000 casualties. The Cold War. During the Cold War, Canada was a member of NATO and participated in various peacekeeping missions around the world. Canada also became a major supplier of energy resources, particularly oil, to the United States. Quebec separatism. In the 1960s and 1970s, Quebec experienced a surge of nationalism, with some groups calling for independence from Canada. This led to a series of political and social conflicts, including the 1970 October Crisis, when members of the Front de Libération du Québec, FLQ, kidnapped a British diplomat and a Quebec cabinet minister. Multiculturalism. In the late 20th century, Canada became known for its commitment to multiculturalism, with policies and programs aimed at promoting diversity and inclusivity. In 1971, Canada became the first country in the world to adopt an official multiculturalism policy. Truth and Reconciliation Commission. In 2008, Canada established a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, TRC, to address the legacy of residential schools, which were institutions that Indigenous children were forced to attend in an effort to assimilate them into Canadian society. The TRC's work has included hearings, research, and recommendations for reconciliation and healing. These are just a few of the many events and periods that have shaped Canada's history. Canada continues to evolve and grow, facing new challenges and opportunities in the 21st century.